The cameras are rolling, the lights are blinding, and just when fans thought they'd heard it all, Mena is shaking the internet to its core. This isn't just another headline. This isn't another messy rumor whispered through comment sections. This is the kind of revelation that makes jaws drop, group chats explode, and timelines catch fire. Because tonight, the truth is knocking, and it's bringing receipts. Sources close to the situation claim that behind the glamorous photos, behind the explosive on-screen confrontations, and behind the carefully curated public image, Mena has been hiding a secret so shocking that even her closest circle allegedly didn't see it coming. A secret relationship, hidden in plain sight, buried beneath years of drama, heartbreak, and headline-grabbing chaos. And now, the silence has shattered. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the reality TV world is bracing itself for impact. It all started with a late-night recording session that was never supposed to go public. Erica, visibly emotional, reportedly leaned back in her chair, exhaled deeply, and said the words no one expected, "I'm tired of protecting people who never protected me." That single sentence sent chills through the room. Within hours, whispers turned into speculation, and speculation turned into panic. Who was she talking about? And why now? According to insiders, this wasn't just a fling. This wasn't a rebound or a rumor spun out of jealousy. This was a full-blown relationship, kept secret for years, allegedly involving power, betrayal, and a web of lies so tight that exposing it could rewrite everything fans thought they knew about Erica's past. Names are being hinted at, timelines are being questioned, and suddenly, old interviews are being rewatched with a brand new lens. Friends are reportedly divided. Some are urging Erica to stay quiet, warning her that opening this door could unleash backlash she can't control. Others are encouraging her to finally speak her truth, no matter who gets hurt in the process. Meanwhile, fans are dissecting every social media post, every cryptic caption, every old photo that suddenly feels suspicious. And just when you think the story can't get any messier, a mysterious figure from Erica's past is rumored to be preparing a response. A response that could contradict everything. A response that could ignite a war of words no PR team can contain. So buckle up, because if even half of what's being whispered is true, this bombshell is about to change the game forever. The night everything changed didn't begin with cameras or shouting or chaos. It began with silence. The kind of silence that feels heavy, uncomfortable, like something is about to explode. Mena sat alone in a dimly lit room, phone face down on the table, hands shaking just slightly as memories she had buried for years clawed their way back to the surface. This wasn't planned. This wasn't scripted. This was a bombshell waiting to detonate. For years, fans thought they knew her story. The fiery arguments, the public breakups, the emotional breakdowns that played out in front of millions. But what fans didn't know was that behind every tear, behind every outburst, there was someone else. Someone hidden, someone powerful, someone who was never supposed to be revealed. According to sources close to Erica, the secret relationship began at a time when her life was already spiraling. She was vulnerable, searching for stability, desperate for someone who understood the pressure of fame and the weight of constant judgment. That's when he allegedly entered her life. Not as a headline, not as a rumor, but as a quiet presence behind the scenes. Late-night phone calls, private meetings, promises whispered in shadows. Erica reportedly believed she had finally found someone who saw her beyond the drama. Someone who told her, "With me, you're safe." But safety came with conditions. Secrecy, silence, control. Friends noticed changes before they knew the reason. Erica became more guarded, more emotional. She would cancel plans at the last minute, disappear for days, then return acting like nothing happened. When questioned, she brushed it off, laughing it away, saying she was just tired. But those closest to her say they could feel something was wrong. One friend allegedly confronted her, saying, "You're not yourself anymore." Erica didn't deny it, she just looked away. What made the relationship even more explosive was who this person allegedly was. Insiders hint he wasn't just someone from her personal life. He was connected, influential, someone whose name alone could shake the industry if spoken out loud. That's why Erica stayed quiet. That's why she played along. She was told exposure would ruin her career, her reputation, her family. And at first, she believed it. She convinced herself the love was worth the cost. Emotions ran high behind closed doors. The relationship was intense, passionate, and volatile. Arguments would erupt over the smallest things. Erica reportedly once screamed, "I gave you everything," while he coldly replied, "And I gave you protection." Those words stuck with her. Protection. From who? From what? Over time, Erica began to realize that what she thought was love was slowly turning into a cage. Meanwhile, the public saw a completely different story. Fans watched her navigate other relationships, breakups, and reconciliations, unaware that behind every headline was a secret agreement. According to sources, Erika was instructed on what she could say, who she could be seen with, even what emotions she was allowed to express publicly. When she questioned it, he allegedly reminded her of everything she had to lose. Family tension started to build. Erika's relatives reportedly sensed something was deeply wrong but couldn't get her to open up. Dinners turned quiet, conversations felt forced, the family was left divided, some believing she was simply overwhelmed by fame, others fearing something darker was happening. One family member allegedly told her, "Whatever you're hiding is eating you alive." Erika broke down in tears but still said nothing. The turning point came during a heated argument that insiders describe as explosive. Voices raised, accusations flying. Erika reportedly confronted him about the lies, the manipulation, the way she felt erased. He responded with a threat that changed everything. Not physical, not violent, but calculated. He allegedly said, "If you ever speak, I'll make sure no one believes you." That was the moment Erika realized the truth. She wasn't being protected, she was being silenced. After that night, everything shifted. Erika started pulling away emotionally. She became colder, more distant. The relationship didn't officially end, but the illusion shattered. Behind the scenes, Erika began documenting things. Saving messages, remembering details, preparing herself, even if she didn't know exactly when or how she would speak out. Fans noticed her energy change. Interviews felt tense. Smiles didn't reach her eyes. Speculation grew, but no one guessed the real reason. When rumors began circulating online about Erika being difficult or unstable, it hurt more than fans realized. According to sources, those narratives were allegedly being fed quietly, subtly, to discredit her before she ever opened her mouth. Erika felt betrayed, not just by him, but by an entire system that benefited from her silence. Still, she held on, afraid of the fallout. Then came the night she finally cracked. Alone, overwhelmed, scrolling through comments calling her crazy, dramatic, toxic. Something inside her snapped. She allegedly whispered to herself, "They don't know the half of it." That's when the decision was made. She would no longer protect a secret that was destroying her. But speaking out wasn't easy. Erika wrestled with fear. Fear of retaliation. Fear of losing everything she built. Fear of hurting people she loved. She confided in a small circle, testing the waters. Some reacted with shock, others with disbelief. One friend reportedly said, "If this comes out, it's going to change everything." Erika nodded, already knowing that was the point. As whispers began leaking, the mysterious figure allegedly caught wind of it. Messages were sent, calls were made, attempts to regain control intensified. Promises mixed with warnings, apologies mixed with blame. Erika was torn, emotions running wild, but for the first time, she didn't back down. She didn't respond immediately. She let the silence speak. Fans started sensing something was coming. Cryptic posts, vague captions, eyes that looked tired but determined. Comment sections exploded with theories, but no one imagined the truth was this deep. This dark, this personal. Erika was standing at the edge of a revelation that could either free her or destroy her. And as the pressure mounted, one thing became clear. The secret relationship wasn't just a chapter in her past. It was the key to understanding everything that came after. And just as Erika prepared to finally speak, a shocking message appeared on her phone, changing the course of everything and setting the stage for an even deeper unraveling that no one saw coming. The message was short but heavy, just a few words that carried years of power behind them. "We need to talk, now." Erika stared at the screen, her heart racing, knowing this wasn't a request. It was a reminder of the dynamic she had lived under for so long. For a moment, doubt crept in. The familiar voice in her head whispered that maybe it was safer to stay quiet, to let the past remain buried. But another voice, louder now, reminded her of every sleepless night, every forced smile, every moment she felt like she was disappearing. She didn't reply, and that silence sent shockwaves she could almost feel through the phone. Within hours, the pressure intensified. Mutual acquaintances suddenly reached out, checking in with strange urgency. "Are you okay? People are talking. Just be careful." Fans are shocked when they later realized how coordinated it all felt, like a quiet effort to surround her before she could make a move. Erika sensed it too. This wasn't concern, it was containment. Flashbacks flooded her mind. The early days when the relationship felt intoxicating. He had made her feel chosen, special, above the noise. He used to tell her she was different from everyone else in the industry, that she was too real for the fake world they lived in. Those words once felt empowering. Now they felt like a setup. Because every compliment came with a reminder of risk. People love to tear women like you down, he'd say. I'm the only one who can keep you safe. The first time Erica tried to pull away years ago, he didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He laughed. According to insiders, he leaned back and calmly said, "You'll be back." They always come back. That confidence haunted her. Because every time she tried to move forward publicly, something would happen. A rumor. A story. A narrative that painted her as unstable. At the time, she blamed bad luck. Now, the pattern was impossible to ignore. As the secret relationship deepened, so did the emotional cost. Erica reportedly began questioning her own reality. Arguments would end with her apologizing even when she knew she was right. When she cried, he accused her of being dramatic. When she stayed quiet, he accused her of being cold. No matter what she did, it was wrong. Emotions ran high, and the balance of power never shifted. Behind the scenes, Erica's professional life began to suffer. Opportunities disappeared without explanation. Meetings went cold. People she thought supported her suddenly kept their distance. Fans noticed the change in her confidence, but they chalked it up to stress. They didn't see the late nights where Erica sat alone, replaying conversations, wondering how she lost control of her own story. The most painful part wasn't the secrecy. It was the isolation. Erica felt like she couldn't fully trust anyone. Every new friendship felt risky. Every conversation felt monitored. Even her family started feeling like strangers. When her mother once asked her directly if someone was hurting her, Erica forced a smile and said no. Later that night, she reportedly cried until she couldn't breathe, hating herself for lying to the one person who always believed her. As rumors about her behavior intensified online, Erica began to see how effective the quiet campaign against her had been. Fans debated her character. Bloggers questioned her sanity. She's always the problem, some said. Reading those words felt like being erased in real time. The family was left divided as well, with some relatives urging her to ignore the noise and others begging her to step back from the spotlight altogether. The tension finally exploded during a private confrontation that sources describe as the most intense yet. Erica demanded clarity. She asked him why every time she tried to stand on her own, everything fell apart. His response wasn't denial. It was a shrug. That's just how things work, he allegedly said. In that moment, something inside Erica hardened. The fear was still there, but it was now mixed with anger. And anger can be dangerous when it meets truth. After that night, Erica began quietly preparing for independence. Not just emotionally, but strategically. She reached out to people she trusted, carefully, selectively. Some believed her immediately. Others hesitated, struggling to reconcile the story with the powerful image of the man involved. That hesitation hurt almost as much as the betrayal itself. But Erica understood. This was the environment he thrived in. Disbelief was his shield. One conversation, however, changed everything. A longtime friend listened without interrupting, then said, "If you don't tell your story, someone else will keep telling it for you." Those words echoed in Erica's mind for days. She realized that silence hadn't protected her. It had only protected him. As the possibility of exposure became more real, the mysterious figure's tone reportedly shifted. The messages softened. Apologies appeared. Memories were rewritten. "We were both wrong," he said. "Why destroy everything?" Erica saw through it. This wasn't remorse. It was fear. Fear of losing control of the narrative. Fans began sensing the shift too. Erica's online presence changed. She stopped explaining herself. She stopped reacting. Instead, she watched, listened, waited. Speculation exploded. Some fans defended her fiercely. Others questioned her motives. Emotions ran high across social media, and still, she said nothing. Not yet. The breaking point came when a fabricated story crossed a line, dragging her children into the narrative. According to sources, Erica saw the headline and felt something snap. This wasn't about her reputation anymore. This was about legacy, about truth, about refusing to let lies define her children's understanding of who their mother was. That night, Erica reportedly sat down and began speaking into a recorder. Not for the public, just for herself. She told the story from the beginning, uninterrupted, raw, painful. Hours passed. Tears fell. Anger surfaced. By the end, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Clarity. But clarity came with consequences. Within days, she noticed unfamiliar cars near her home. Calls from unknown numbers. Subtle reminders that she was being watched. Fear crept back in, but this time, it didn't win. Erica reminded herself of everything she survived. She reminded herself that truth, once spoken, has a life of its own. As the pressure built, one final warning arrived. Not directly, not aggressively, just a message passed through someone else. If she does this, there's no going back. Erica heard it and whispered to herself, good. Because at that moment, she wasn't thinking about backlash or headlines. She was thinking about freedom. And as she prepared to step forward, unaware of the even darker revelations waiting to surface, one thing was certain. This story was no longer just about a secret relationship. It was about power, survival, and what happens when a woman decides she will no longer be controlled. The days that followed felt unreal, like Erica was moving through fog while the world around her sharpened its knives. Every notification made her flinch. Every unknown call sent a jolt through her chest. Yet beneath the fear, there was something new growing inside her. Resolve. For the first time in years, she wasn't reacting. She was choosing. Behind the scenes, word had begun to spread in quiet, dangerous ways. People who once avoided her suddenly wanted meetings. Old acquaintances resurfaced, pretending concern. I just want to make sure you're good, they'd say, eyes searching her face for weakness. Erica smiled politely, giving nothing away. Fans are shocked when they later learned how many of those conversations were less about support and more about information. Who was she talking to? What did she know? How far was she willing to go? The mysterious figure, sensing control slipping, allegedly began rewriting history. Insiders say he started telling his version first, framing the relationship as insignificant, mutual, harmless. It was never serious, he reportedly told one person. She's exaggerating. Hearing that broke something in Erica. Years of secrecy, pain, sacrifice, all reduced to nothing. Emotions ran high, and the betrayal cut deeper than ever. One night, unable to sleep, Erica scrolled through old messages she had saved. Promises, apologies, warnings, affection mixed with manipulation. Reading them back was like watching a movie she didn't recognize, except she was the one on screen. She realized how carefully the lines had been blurred, how often love had been used as leverage. You owe me, he once wrote. After everything I've done for you. Erica whispered out loud, no. You owed me honesty. As tension mounted, cracks began forming around him too. A former associate quietly reached out to Erica, claiming they had seen similar patterns before. Not with her, with others. Women who never spoke publicly. Women who disappeared from circles overnight. The realization was terrifying and validating all at once. Erica wasn't alone. She was just the first who might be brave enough to speak. Family conversations grew heavier. Erica finally opened up to a close relative, revealing pieces of the truth. The reaction was explosive. Shock turned into anger. Why didn't you tell us? They asked through tears. Erica had no answer that felt good enough. The family was left divided between rage at him and guilt for not seeing the signs sooner. Healing would take time. Trust would need rebuilding. Online, fans sensed something major brewing. Speculation threads multiplied. Old clips resurfaced, reanalyzed with new theories. Fans are shocked as patterns emerged that had once been ignored. The way Erica would deflect certain questions. The moments she looked off camera before answering. The sudden emotional shifts. What once seemed like chaos now felt like survival. Pressure intensified when a blogger posted a vague but ominous teaser hinting at a powerful man about to be exposed. The internet exploded. Names were thrown around recklessly. Erica watched in silence as narratives spiraled out of control. This wasn't how she wanted it. She didn't want gossip. She wanted truth. But once a spark is lit, it's hard to contain the fire. The mysterious figure allegedly panicked. Insiders claim he demanded loyalty from people around him, testing who would stand by him and who might flip. Calls went unanswered. Alliances shifted. Erica could feel the balance changing. Power that once felt untouchable suddenly looked fragile. Another attempt was made to silence her, this time wrapped in sympathy. A message arrived saying, I'm worried about you. This will destroy you more than it hurts me. Erica read it slowly, then laughed through tears. For years, she had carried the burden of his reputation. Now he was worried about hers. The irony wasn't lost on her. She began outlining what she would say publicly, knowing every word would be dissected. She rehearsed conversations in her head, imagined backlash, imagined disbelief. She knew some fans would turn on her instantly. She knew others would call her brave. Neither mattered as much as telling the story honestly. For once, she wanted control of her own voice. As days passed, more information surfaced, unintentionally supporting her claims. Timelines didn't add up. Stories contradicted themselves. People noticed. Doubt crept in where certainty once lived. The man who had always operated in shadows suddenly stood under a spotlight he couldn't control. One particularly tense moment came when Erica was warned that legal threats might be coming. Cease and desist. Defamation claims. The usual tactics. Fear surged, but it didn't stop her. She consulted quietly, making sure she was protected. This wasn't reckless. This was calculated survival. Emotionally, the toll was heavy. Erica had moments where she questioned everything. Nights where she wondered if peace was worth more than truth. But then she remembered the years lost, the identity blurred, the woman she barely recognized in the mirror. Staying silent meant staying small. And she was done with that. Friends rallied around her in unexpected ways. People she hadn't spoken to in years reached out with simple messages. "I believe you." Those words carried more weight than any headline. They reminded her that even in a system designed to doubt women, belief still existed. The internet, unpredictable as ever, began shifting tone. What started as gossip turned into concern. Fans questioned why so many people seemed invested in keeping her quiet. Fans are shocked when they realized how often powerful men escape scrutiny while women are labeled unstable. Erica's story tapped into something bigger than her. It became symbolic. The night before she was supposed to record her first public statement, Erica barely slept. She sat by a window, watching the city lights flicker, thinking about the girl she used to be. The one who believed love meant endurance. The one who thought silence was strength. She whispered an apology to herself for staying quiet so long. Meanwhile, the mysterious figure made one last attempt to regain control, allegedly reaching out through a trusted intermediary. The message was clear: compromise, soften the truth, protect certain details. Erica listened, then calmly said no. There would be no half-truths. No editing for comfort. The silence that followed was deafening. As dawn broke, Erica felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace mixed with fear. She knew the storm was coming. She knew once she spoke, there was no turning back. But she also knew that this moment was bigger than her fear. Because what she was about to reveal wouldn't just shock fans. It would expose a system built on secrecy, intimidation, and control. And as she took a deep breath, preparing to finally step into the light, unseen forces were already moving, setting up the most explosive twist yet, one that would threaten to flip the entire narrative upside down. The twist came quietly at first, almost unnoticed, like a crack forming beneath a polished surface. Erica learned through a trusted contact that someone else was preparing to speak. Not in support of her. Not against her directly. But to complicate everything. This person claimed to have been there, to know the truth, to remember things differently. The moment Erica heard the name, her stomach dropped. This wasn't just another outsider chasing attention. This was someone who had sat at the same tables, heard the same whispers, smiled while secrets were being kept. Someone who could blur the truth just enough to make everything messy. Panic tried to creep back in, but Erica forced herself to slow down. She reminded herself that confusion was part of the strategy. If the truth couldn't be erased, it could be drowned. Emotions ran high as she realized how calculated the timing was. Just as she was preparing to speak clearly, another voice was being positioned to create doubt. Not denial, doubt, the most dangerous weapon of all. The days that followed were chaotic. Blogs published vague updates. Social media accounts teased, exclusive interviews coming soon. Fans are shocked by how quickly the narrative began shifting, even before Erica had said a word publicly. Some questioned her motives. Others begged her to speak before the story was stolen from her. Erica watched it all unfold, feeling the weight of urgency pressing harder than ever. Privately, she confronted the reality she had been avoiding. Telling the truth wasn't just about courage. It was about timing. And timing was being manipulated around her. She gathered her team and spoke plainly. No drama, no emotion, just facts. "I'm not chasing attention," she said. "I'm reclaiming my story." Those in the room felt the shift. This wasn't a woman reacting anymore. This was a woman leading. Meanwhile, the mysterious figure allegedly doubled down on his efforts. Sources say he began reaching out to industry gatekeepers, framing the situation as a mental health concern rather than a credibility issue. Erica heard about it and felt a familiar rage rise. That label again. Unstable, emotional, difficult. The same words used to silence women for generations. But this time, she was ready. Another unexpected development surfaced when an old contract was quietly leaked online. Fans dissected it instantly. Clauses about confidentiality, penalties for disclosure, language that suddenly made Erica's silence over the years make sense. Fans are shocked as they realized this wasn't just emotional manipulation. It was legal intimidation. The story shifted again, this time in her favor. Erica's family watched the chaos with mixed emotions. Pride battled fear. They supported her decision but worried about the toll. One relative reportedly told her, "No matter what happens, we're here." Those words grounded her. They reminded her that while public opinion could swing wildly, her foundation at home was solid. The person preparing to speak against her finally went live with their version. The interview was carefully worded. No outright lies, just selective memory. I never saw anything wrong, they said. Erika can be dramatic. Hearing that hurt more than Erika expected. Not because it was convincing, but because it echoed the same dismissive tone she had fought for years. Emotions ran high as fans split into camps, arguing over interpretations, over who seemed more believable. Instead of reacting immediately, Erika waited. That silence again, but this time, it wasn't fear. It was strategy. She let the contradictions sit. Let the inconsistencies speak for themselves. Online sleuths began noticing holes. Timelines didn't match. Details conflicted. Doubt crept into the counter-narrative. Behind the scenes, something even more explosive was happening. Another individual, previously unknown to the public, reached out to Erika's team with proof. Not just stories, evidence, messages, dates, confirmations that aligned with Erika's account. This person didn't want fame. They wanted closure. When Erika reviewed the material, she reportedly broke down, overwhelmed not with fear but with relief. She wasn't imagining it. She never had been. The power dynamic began to visibly shift. The mysterious figure's camp grew quieter. Statements became shorter. Lawyers spoke instead of friends. Erika noticed the difference immediately. Confidence had been replaced with caution. Control with defense. For the first time, he wasn't dictating the pace. Fans are shocked by how quickly public sentiment started turning. What once felt like chaos began forming a clearer picture. Comment sections filled with messages of support, especially from women who recognized the patterns. This happened to me, they wrote. Erika read those messages late at night, feeling both heartbroken and strengthened. Her story was no longer just hers. Still, the emotional toll was undeniable. Erika had moments where the weight felt unbearable. She questioned whether exposing everything was worth reliving it. Therapy sessions grew more intense. Healing didn't pause just because the world was watching. Some days, she felt powerful. Others, completely exhausted. Both were true. The tension reached a breaking point when legal documents were officially filed, attempting to preemptively discredit her claims. The move was aggressive, public, and meant to intimidate. Instead, it backfired. Fans interpreted it as confirmation that something was being hidden. The family was left divided emotionally, torn between fear of escalation and belief that truth was finally winning. Erika addressed her inner circle with brutal honesty. This is going to get uglier before it gets better, she said. No one disagreed, but no one backed out either. Loyalty solidified in that moment, forged not by comfort but by conviction. As the date for her full statement approached, anticipation reached a fever pitch. Media outlets prepared segments. Commentators sharpened opinions. The internet waited. Erika, however, focused inward. She reminded herself why she started this. Not revenge, not fame, freedom. The night before everything was set to go public, Erika received a final message. Not a threat, not an apology, just a line that said, "You're making a mistake." She stared at it, then deleted it without responding. Some doors, once closed, are meant to stay that way. Because the truth Erika was about to tell wasn't just about a secret relationship. It was about how easily power hides in plain sight, how silence is enforced, and how dangerous it becomes when the person who was never supposed to speak finally decides she has nothing left to lose. And as the world leaned in, unaware of the final revelations still waiting to drop, Erika took one last deep breath, ready to say everything she had been denied the chance to say for far too long. The moment Erika finally went public didn't explode the way people expected. There was no screaming, no insults, no chaos, just a calm, steady voice that made the truth feel heavier than any outburst ever could. She spoke slowly, choosing each word with intention, aware that every sentence would be replayed, dissected, and judged. Fans are shocked not by what she said, but by how controlled she was. This wasn't a woman unraveling. This was a woman reclaiming herself. As the video spread, reactions poured in instantly. Some viewers felt chills, others felt anger, many felt validation. Erika described the secret relationship without naming names, but the details were unmistakable. The timelines, the power imbalance, the fear disguised as loyalty. She admitted how long she stayed quiet and didn't excuse it. "I thought silence would keep me safe," she said, "but silence almost destroyed me." Emotions ran high across the internet as people began connecting dots in real time. The mysterious figure's response came faster than expected. A carefully worded statement, filled with legal language and emotional deflection. No direct denial, no admission, just distance. He claimed respect for Erika while subtly questioning her interpretation of events. "Memories can differ," the statement read. That single line ignited outrage. Fans saw it for what it was. Another attempt to blur reality. Behind the scenes, Erika felt the aftermath immediately. Support mixed with backlash in overwhelming waves. Her phone buzzed nonstop. Some messages were loving, others cruel. She expected that. What she didn't expect was how many people from her past reached out privately to apologize. People who had believed the rumors. People who had stayed silent when she needed them most. Their words brought comfort and pain at the same time. Family dynamics shifted again, this time, toward healing. Erika's honesty opened doors that had been shut for years. Conversations were raw, emotional, and necessary. Tears were shed not just for what happened, but for the years lost to fear. The family was left divided externally by public opinion, but internally, something began to mend. As days passed, more voices emerged. Not all loud, not all public, but enough to confirm patterns Erika had described. Industry insiders hinted at similar stories without naming themselves. Fans are shocked by how widespread the issue appeared once one person broke the silence. Erika's story became a mirror for others who had been told their experiences weren't real enough to matter. The pressure on the mysterious figure intensified. His circle tightened. Appearances were cancelled. Interviews postponed. Silence replaced confidence. Erika noticed it but didn't celebrate. This wasn't about winning. It was about truth standing long enough to be seen. Still, the cost was real. Erika faced moments of doubt, wondering if peace would ever fully return. Fame magnifies everything, including pain. But something fundamental had changed. The fear that once controlled her no longer had power. She had spoken, and no one could take that back. As new revelations loomed and unanswered questions hung heavy in the air, one thing was undeniable. This story was far from over. And the final chapters promised to be even more explosive than anyone imagined. And now, after everything you've heard, the question isn't whether this story matters. The question is what you believe comes next. Because what Erika revealed wasn't just a confession. It was a line drawn in the sand. A challenge to a system that thrives on silence and fear. And whether you support her, question her, or are still processing it all, one thing is undeniable. This revelation has changed the conversation forever. You've seen how the story unfolded. The secrecy, the manipulation, the emotional toll that played out behind the scenes while the public saw only fragments. You've heard how emotions ran high, how fans are shocked, how the family was left divided before slowly finding its footing again. But there are still so many unanswered questions. Will more people come forward? Will names eventually be revealed? Will there be accountability, or will the powerful once again find a way to escape the full truth? This is where you come in. Because stories like this don't live or die in headlines alone. They live in the conversations that follow. In the comments. In the discussions you have with others who are watching closely, just like you. Do you believe Erika's truth will finally be respected, or do you think the backlash will try to rewrite the narrative yet again? Do you think this is the beginning of healing, or just the start of an even bigger storm? If this story made you feel something, don't ignore that feeling. Hit the like button to show that these stories deserve to be heard, even when they're uncomfortable. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next chapter, because trust us, this saga is far from over. New twists, new reactions, and potentially explosive updates are already on the horizon. And most importantly, drop a comment below. We want to hear from you. Were you shocked by this revelation? Did it change how you see Erika's past? Do you think speaking out was worth the risk, or should some secrets stay buried? Your voice matters here, and this comment section is where the real conversation happens. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one secret relationship. It's about power, truth, and what happens when someone decides they will no longer be silenced. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and stay ready. The story isn't finished yet,